also Drew. I'm about to see Drew for the first time in like a year. It's crazy.
Really? Holy
Yeah, dude.
shit.
I've been gone for so long. I was in the hills of New Hampshire, mountain man shit, wrestling bears, getting
Wrestling
big,
bear. Yeah, the bear gave
mentally
you this
fit.
The bear gave you that hip mohawk, bro.
Right.
That shit ain't a natural.
I was getting my hair cut by wolves.
Where it's like, yeah, I've been living
Mountain men. They use rocks to just like little arrowheads to just cut the hair. Yeah, it's crazy. Meditating with the monks, eating fish, sipping spring water. I was naked most of the time. I just had a leaf. Just a single banana leaf.
And napping and drinking water bottles. So that's just been me, man.
So I'm here with the nappingest man in the world.
Yeah, the
BIV.
King nap.
King of naps. How many times like you nap once a day, like solidly?
Yeah.
So how many times of how many hours out of your day is spent like in slumber?
Out of the daytime, it could be like a 2-hour nap.
Okay.
To maybe 3. And every time I wake up, I eat something. Every time.
Every time.
Every time, it does not fail.
So wait, you go to bed at like 8 a.m. and then what time do you like wake up?
Like 9:30 or 10 to take medication.
Oh, okay.
Take your meds.
So you basically live off naps. You don't like get one consecutive.
For right now, I do. It wasn't
Okay.
always like that, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna get like my shit together with my sleep schedule, and then the more I tried, the worse it got, because I would go to bed because I'm like, all right, like running gun. Let me start off. I'll try to go to bed like 10 p.m. when I've been going to bed at like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
So my body would wake me up at like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, like what the fuck? Like I don't even know what do I even do now? Like I'm wide awake, so I'm like, I guess I'll just make some music or I'll like edit or whatever. And I just end up sitting on YouTube watching videos, and then I feel like a piece of shit. So I'm like, okay, I didn't even do anything. Like the best shit, whenever I make music, it's always best to make it as soon as I wake up. So even like, if I can't sleep, I'll make stuff sometimes, but for the most part,
Kid Cudi said that same thing in an interview.
Yeah, like it's.
Or it was either. Nah, it wasn't Pharrell. Pharrell said he goes to the studio at 5:30 p.m. I guess everybody's creative process is different.
Yeah,
Kid Cudi
it's all
says
different, yeah.
he feels like most creative when he like wakes up in the morning.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like energized to do shit. I feel like there's times though, like where at night, I'm like, damn, I really want to record.
Yeah, I've been
like,
on that.
I'm not trying to wake up both my parents. Like, I'm not trying to be like, yeah, they just hear the ears. They're like, all right. They're like, yeah, you gotta stop that. Like, cause they understand it and they respect it, but they're not trying to hear it at 2 in the morning. And also,
they're
it's
trying to sleep.
It's usually when I want to record at that time, it's gonna be something like aggressive. It's not gonna be like soft, like, serenading them like to sleep, like playing guitar or some shit. So it's definitely, I love living with my parents though, because a lot of the times like people I think like have this whole misconception of like, oh, like you still live with your parents, like whatever, and people can say that like fuck it, whatever, like they can say that about me and be like you're a bum and you're this. I'm like, I literally I don't know how long my parents are gonna be here, bro. Like I have no idea.
I mean,
like,
you might as well save that money.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and then say that money, it's like I'm in New York.
Yeah,
if
New York
you live
is
here,
expensive.
if you live here, you know that it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, right.
Like I just went to the grocery store to get food and spent like $200, like to get fucking.
Yeah, like
to get
Black's
food.
$250,000 a month. Fucking Brooklyn.
That man living in
shithole.
Brooklyn. I was like,
nah, his apartment's actually pretty. It's nice. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I was there. It's nice. It's a chill pad. He's got a nice little recording
yeah, he's got
area.
a nice little area there.
But I could never live in Brooklyn, bro.
No, I couldn't.
Especially not for $250,000 a month.
No, fuck all of that. I don't want any part of that at all.
Obviously, that's an exaggeration.
Yeah,
but then you get like a one. They give you a 1 by 1 foot long, like square of grass though.
Yeah, you can
like it's a
piss
foot by
on that
foot.
if you want.
You
They
can,
got their backyard is rocks. They have rocks. It's a rock backyard.
They did have a driveway, which is rare.
Yeah, they're the only one on the block with a driveway.
Super rare and super clutch in like the middle of New York City.
Oh yeah, because especially in Brooklyn, because when I went to go and perform down in Brooklyn with Cam and Gasper and everything, I was like, I can't find a fucking spot to save my life, and then I had to like find a lot. I couldn't fucking find that, and I'm like, bro, what the hell? So now I'm like in a grocery store's like parking lot, just sitting there. You can't park there. Like you're gonna get towed or get like, a ticket.
Yeah, they're probably right on that shit too.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a cop every fucking 5 seconds. So I was like, all right, and like you see one spot, you're like, is that a spot? Is whatever? And then like by the time I figured out the spot, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this is like I already like passed it. So it took me like, I think I was driving around Brooklyn for like an hour and a half just trying to find a parking spot. I'm like, this is exactly why I don't drive down here. I was like, I fucking hate this shit. Like, I absolutely hate this.
Bro, I want to throw some shows in New York, and I'm already like, how the fuck am I going to get into the city? I have a big-ass van, A. It's not going to fit in any parking garage, ever.
Yeah, you're going to have to, like, get that shit.
Parallel parking that shit? Bro. When it's tight, nah, forget it.
They had, when we were at, I say we, like, I fucking toured with Spider Game. Like, when they were at Gramercy, it was, like, 2 years ago, when I did that show, it was, I just remember, like, walking up, and they had the 2 spots, but that was in Manhattan, though. But they had, the 2 spots, like, just ready and set for, like, both their tour buses. So I was like, that's lit. And I was like, where can I park? They're like, you got to find a lot. I was like, fair. I was like, that's fair. That's fair.
Boy.
Like, yeah, so we found one quick, though, in Manhattan. There's an app, it's called, what's this app called?
I'm going to put us all on.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on right now. It's called Spot Hero.
Okay.
And it gets you, like, the cheap lots. Because, like, you can look up, like, a lot on Google, and they won't even know it. It'll be, like, it'll give you a fucking parking lot. Like, it won't give you, like, an actual lot. So that'll give you all the lots, all the times you could put in the reservation, all that shit. And that's what I did. And I was like,
that was your first show?
And at Gramercy, yeah, that was my first show.
How was that experience for you?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And incredibly terrifying at the same time. It was like, at first I'm like, okay. They're like, all right, we're going to put you on at 8 o'clock or whatever. And then it jumps to like 7:30. Then they're like, sorry, bro, we're going to put you on like a little bit early. I'm like, fuck it, just put me out there. Because I'm like,
just let me go.
I'm like, yeah, just let me like rip off the Band-Aid. Fuck it. And I remember I'm sitting, like, I was like backstage. And I'm ready to go on the stage. And I'm like, okay, I never thought I would do this. I'm like, this is wild. Everyone's like, get her done, bro. Like, get on there. And I'm like, and they're all like, they've done, like, I don't even know how many shows already. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I don't even understand. Like, I've never done this. I'm like, most of them, like, Black had told him, like, this is his first show. He's never done this.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay. So then, but like, just get him out there. I remember I grabbed Darky. Darky's just, like, walking around, like, doing his thing. And I, like, grab him by, like, the shoulders. Dude doesn't even jump, nothing. Like, I'm not even trying to scare him, but, like, it's just funny how, like, he just kind of walks around. He's just, like, I'm acting like he just walks around like a fucking, like, a dud, but he just walks around just, like, chilling. Like, and I grab him, I'm like, don't hate me if I fuck this up. He's like, this man turned around, he's like, you're not gonna fuck this up, bro. He's like, you're fucking amazing. Dabs me up, and I'm like, you're probably right. I'm like, you're probably right, bro. And then I went.
You're overthinking it at that time?
Yeah, and then I'm sitting there, I'm, like, jumping up and down. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. And as soon as they're like, once you welcome, Biv, whatever, and, like, and the whole crowd was like, wah, and as soon as I heard that, my stomach just, like, dropped. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this is I'm like, I don't know. I was like, it's like, it felt like when if you're on, like, a roller coaster and they're about to start that shit and you're like, stop the ride, stop the ride, stop the ride. And then you're like, no. And then I got up there and I'm, like, shaking, bro. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, okay.
A lot of people out there.
Yeah, and I'm, like, looking and I'm like, all right, I got to keep, like, talking. I got to keep, like, whatever. So I'm like, I like to entertain people. Like, I like to make people laugh, whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to treat this like a comedy special. So, like, in between songs, I'm going to be like, I'll, like, crack some jokes, whatever. Fuck it. If some people laugh, they do. If they don't, then tough crowd, whatever. I'm like, I just need to be comfy. So I was like, and I had my boy up there. Van was up there in, like, a Hawaiian shirt, which was the greatest thing. He was like, everyone's dressed in black, and he's dressed in, like, this Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, and that's his personality, bro. It's, like, the greatest thing ever. And I was like, all right. I'm like, who? And Darky said to me, like, the night before, he's like, yo, you should go out and be like, yo, who knows me? And, like, everyone that knows me be like, fuck you. And that's what I did. I was like, it's like, who knows me in here? And they're like, I know you. I'm like, fuck every single one of you. Like, everyone thought I was talking to the crowd. Like, if they see the video, they're like, yo, he said it to the crowd. I'm like, no, I said it to the people that knew me. I was like, everyone else, I'm like, what's up? Like, whatever. But by the end of it, like, it was weird because you had, like, people pointing, like, cameras on you, people, like, trying to touch you. And I'm like, They don't even like know who I am, but they're like, yo, he's performing, so like, it's cool. I'm like, all right.
I mean, a lot of them might have like picked up on it.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, did you perform any songs with any of them?
With Black, yeah. That was like the ending song. I was like, we have to do Pain Script at the end. I was like, I have to bring you out. I was like, it's the first time I met him in person.
People are gonna expect that too, especially the Spider Gang show.
And then we did that in Jersey too. I just came out for Pain Script for his set. And it was like, and that show was different because when they were like BIV, whatever, and people were like, oh shit, and then we just started the song. People actually knew me. I was like, oh, this is actually cool. So yeah, I've only done 3 shows really, and only one was actually an opener, like a 15-minute song. The others have just been me like as like a surprise, and then that's like one song, and I'm like, all right, bye, like see you later. Like,
was it weird being in a space with people who actually like knew who you are, cause like music and shit like that?
Yeah, that's always weird as shit. Cause I don't.
Strange.
I mean, when I walk, if you were to walk around here with me, no one. First off, anyone from like school, anything, like I keep it so low key. Like I don't like anybody knowing that I even do music.
Yeah.
I just don't, because I just don't want that to be like the conversation. I don't think it's like anything, people being fake or whatever, because like a lot of the people around my town, like they know me, they've, like I've never, like I don't have like beef with anybody. It's just a matter of like, I'd rather talk to people like about like what's going on with you, man, what's whatever, like we don't got to talk about fucking music. If they bring it up, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, whatever, it's fine. Fuck it. Like I don't want to talk about music. Like I talk about it enough. Like I don't want to do that. It's a nice separation. But then when you jump into that, like Cam told like everybody, like showed everyone like my music before I went and performed with them, and I'm like, I pull up and I'm like, fuck, I'm like, this is actually wild, because these are all people that are way bigger than me, like that I just would never expect it, and they're like, you're BIV, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I guess so, like whatever. And then they're like, yeah, we're doing a meet and greet afterwards, and you're coming. I'm like, okay. And people like having me sign stuff, take pictures. I'm like, this is so cool, but like it's so odd. It's like, it's weird. Like I'm not used to that at all. Like
it's just a strange feeling.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it while I did, but I don't let it get to like my head. I come home and I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's, it's, I like talking to like everyone. Like if somebody takes a picture, like I'm not like it's just, I don't know. Like there's no like facade. Like I used to, like in the beginning, I'm like, I gotta be like perfect. I have to be like this. And now I'm like, I don't care.
Dude, I used to be the same way. I used to want to be, when I was younger, like a teenager, I used to want to be the greatest music producer ever, like period. That was like my thing. I wanted to be the best beat maker ever. Yeah. And I just, as I got older, I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to live.
Yeah, exactly.
We're literally on a floating rock in space, paying taxes to pedophiles. Like, I'm just trying to live.
I'm fucking 27. When I started, I was 19. And I was just like, I have something to prove. And now I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like,
it makes it, like, not fun anymore.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. Like, I like making music, and, like, I want to know what people want to listen to. Like, I like having the feedback. When I was 19, you couldn't tell me shit. I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. If I listen to that, you listen to my old music, I don't know how. Some people, like, will listen to the BIV archive, which doesn't even go as far back as, like, the shit that I used to make, like, way back. And it's all terrible. I just laugh at it. But I'm like, it was needed. I'm like, but the fact that I thought that no one could tell me shit is the funniest thing ever, where I'm like, nah, like someone could have told me a few things. And then when I started listening to constructive criticism, I was like, all right, like, yeah. And then if someone is like critiquing my shit, and like if it's like a fan or whatever, and they're like, I don't really like this, but like I like this style better, I'm like, that's cool, like to each their own. I'm not gonna hate on you for that, whatever. Like, but if you're hating on me, like, whatever, fuck it. Like, I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. Like, do whatever you got to do. Like, because some people will just have, like, that negativity. It's like, it used to be, like, you wanted to, like, tell them off, be like, fuck you, like, whatever. Like,
chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, but, like, after a few different, like, messages and emails of people, like, telling you to kill yourself, you're just like, I just respond. I'm like, I'm working on it. Like, that's all I say.
Was that hard to get past at first? Because, like,
at first it ruined.
Dude, I even get messages like, you suck at interviewing.
Yeah, at first.
Like, your brand sucks. Everything. Your podcast is trash. And I just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I genuinely just don't care. Was that hard for you to get past at first?
At first, yeah. It was like, and there would be times now where it's like, if I'm having a bad day and someone messages me, I'm like, that fucking whatever. But, like, that's where, like, the separation, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to chill with my friends and, like, or go chill with my girl, whatever. Like, there's a massive separation. Like, there's people where it's just like you realize that this isn't everything. And no one's going to give a fuck. by the time I'm like, whatever, like, no one's gonna care. I'm not gonna give a shit. Like, I can't remember the fucking username of the dude. Shout out to whoever the fuck messaged me, like, whatever the hell, like, back, I think it was, like, last year, and they were like, you should kill yourself. Like, I had a fan that took their own life. May they rest in peace. They took their life to my music, and I was like, that shit hit me hard. Like, I was, like, hysterical.
How did you find that out?
Through one of his friends. I was like, they found him, and it was like, he had like a playlist that went through like entirely all the way to the end, and it was like all my music, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that shit hit like really hard, and that made me reconsider how, like, where my energy goes, because I felt like I gave a lot of energy to the negativity, and I'm like, I'm not really paying attention to people that are like actually there, like the positive, like just being, you know. And also the fact of like not being like, you don't want to always be like, oh, I'm done. Like if I'm having like a bad day, I don't want to fucking just like push that on all my fans, be like, oh, I'm having a shitty day. Like, yeah, they can relate to it, but it's like you just don't want to spread that. I'd rather be like, all right, here's what's happening, like some updates, smile and everything. Like I have like everyone around me that helps and stuff, because I also don't want my fans to feel like they have to message me and have to like help me and do all these different things, because a lot of fans do feel that, and it's like it's not necessary. Yeah, but it's like some dudes said like you should kill yourself like along like with your fan or whatever the fuck, like because you're like saying like I'm like causing it and all this shit, and I'm like, oh, that fucking hurts. I'm like, that felt like shit. I'm like, but I obviously didn't give them the benefit of that. Like, feel like I just
they want that rise
reaction.
out of you too. That's what they kind of live for, and it's like you got to think like the person on the other side of that computer screen, like what the fuck are they dealing with to make cause them to go out of their way?
They're barely real
and feel like right. They're
like,
not
like
literal NPCs.
When you if you go on fucking Twitter, just go down Twitter, go into the replies of any fucking big tweet, whatever.
Anybody.
And just click on the fucking account. It's some dickhole that's just got like their cameras like ready for the
right. It's a
just looking like a complete fucking schmuck, and you're like, the fuck? You go down like the retweets and everything, and you're like, what is this bigotry? You're like, what the fuck am I looking at? You're like, what the hell is this? And then you're just like, I'm not even like, why am I even gonna get mad about this? Like, what the fuck? And there's people that are like, just hate just because like what they have going on in their life, and it's like, all right, like that's on you. That's not my responsibility to even give a shit about.
You can't like allocate your energy to thinking about that.
Exactly.
Because it's like for every negative comment you get, there's so many more people that
there's so fucking many.
But as a creator in any space,
you focus
right
on that
right on. You can
like,
scroll through
it could be
1,000 comments that are all like, this shit's fire. The one that's like, this sucks.
Yeah,
you hyper focus on that shit.
You'd be like, this is mid, but it's alright, like whatever. I'm like, you
what?
Motherfucker. but that's the thing. It's like I was like, this feels disrespectful to the people that are like being positive about it. I'm like, I feel like I'm disrespecting everyone that actually shows love. So it's like, fuck all the negative motherfuckers. And the biggest thing that I learned is like, I never would like respond really to people's like negative shit, because there's people that still probably hate me. Like I would put up like a YouTube video. There's always gonna be people like that. And like when they had the dislike button, like there'd be like 5 dislikes off rip, like it'd be like immediate. I'm like,
haters,
cool.
right off.
And I would dislike it myself. I would always do just like a joke, like dislike, like thumbs it down. But like I would always like think to myself like, it is what it is. Like people are they're gonna hate on me, like just for whatever reason. It could be for no good reason at all, but it's like, I'd rather give my energy to everybody else, because like the fact is just like, if somebody starts talking shit about me or doesn't like me or like says some hateful ass shit, number one, I let my music speak for itself. So if somebody wants to like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. On top of that, if you come in and you start chatting shit, chances are like all my supporters are gonna fucking like are just gonna come in and like protect me, like in a way, like where they're gonna come in and be like, fuck you, whatever, which has happened, which I don't want them to be like toxic about it, but they're gonna be like, yo, just get out of here, like why are you even here? Like they're not like I always preach, I'm like, don't tell anyone to fucking go kill themselves or fucking whatever, like, you know, be respectful about it. But you can tell them like, like whatever, like get the fuck out of here, like get on, like why are you even here? Like I like
there's almost something like bigger when it comes to like not giving attention to
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Can you feed into it and like argue back? You almost like stoop to that level in a sense.
Oh yeah.
But when you're just like whatever, and you realize they're not gonna get that rise out of you, it's almost like a better feeling. Yep. You know what I mean?
And then if you do respond, they'll be like, "Whoa, I didn't think you'd actually fucking whatever."
I was just kidding, bro.
I've seen it happen to other artists. I've seen it happen where they respond and they're like, "Wow, didn't think you'd actually fucking answer. Like, you're a fucking pussy. Like, didn't think you whatever." Like, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna learn from that. I'm just not gonna like. So I always think of that. I'm like, I'm not gonna stoop to that low. I'm like, not gonna do it. Like, no. Like, there's been times where I've had my moments. That was like earlier on in my fucking fantastic career, but I fucking.
Yeah, you're doing better than most.
I was like, yeah, I'm doing great.
So you always gotta tell yourself, bro, you're doing better than a lot of people.
I think what the biggest thing that I've always like, especially like whenever it like comes to it, like I think to myself like, I never thought I would be here in this situation, like in this specific spot, and like a year from now I could be like fucking like blow up, or I could like completely fall off. But like at the end of the day, I'm like, I had a good run. Like, all right, cool. Like I had like it lives on. Like it goes further than this.
Like 80% of people on Spotify don't get above like 50 monthly listeners.
Yeah, no, which
like
is
80%.
Which is so crazy.
And it's like that same percentage of songs won't even get above like 50 plays.
Yeah, which
like you know what I mean?
Bro, I remember the first 15,000 plays I got on Soundcloud. I was flipping the fuck out, and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I want to say like the average monthly listener number on Spotify is like 80. Like I was looking at these stats. Yeah,
that's insane.
So you're doing better than the vast amount of people that make music.
Shout out to that fucking 70,000. Whatever the fuck it is. 70,000.
I think you were at when I was listening down on the way. I think it was at 90.
Was it at 90?
Above 90.
10K to 100K. You know what I mean?
A lot of people are going up lately. I know it's Black Spotify.
Yeah, he went up a lot, especially after their second tour. When Spider Gang toured the second time.
I gotta get the consensus on what's up with them. Is it actually over? Is it a joke?
They're done. Yeah. No, they're done. Yeah, they're done. I think it's funny when people are like, are they actually done? They're like, it's literally I think Black said he's like, it's literally the fucking album title. He's like, it's the fucking title. Like,
but I was just like, is this like comedy? Or
yeah, because you would think it would be, but no, yeah, they're done.
Yeah. Done. It's just kind of like, I don't know, where does it go at that point?
Yeah, it's funny but it's so cool to see how they did it and went about everything, and like you meet them, like they get so much fucking hate, and even I, like in the beginning, I was like, I don't get this. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't really get it.
How do you come across all of them?
I came across Dark on Twitter, like 3 years ago.
Do you know Black first?
Oh yeah. I reached out to him before, and it was like fucking 6 years ago now. It had to be, and I heard his music. I'm like, your music is fire, bro, and like you should continue doing it, whatever. And like
this was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, and then we made Piss in Me Face like a month after that, and that was it. And history was pretty much that was history. It was like okay, and then now it's like it's like a brother to me. Like I fucking like inseparable. It's like I'm consistently he's in a little rut right now. Sorry to put that out there for you.
He's always in a rut. I think his fans know that.
Yeah, he's in a rut right now. But like I'm always like, yo, like how you doing? Are you alright? Whatever, this, that. I told him like I will bombard the shit out of you, like, but also I won't. Like I will like do like a half and half where I'm always gonna check up on you. But I know where you're at. Like I know that it's all good. Like I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh, why you hit me up, bro? Like whatever. Because people do that shit to me, and I'm like, I'm busy. Like I got, I'm busy, bro. Like I'm not fucking. Like I got some shit going on. I'm napping. I'm napping, bro. Like
I gotta get my fifth nap in today.
I would tell people like that. I would be like, I'm napping. Like just give me a minute. Like I told you, I'm like, I'm gonna go nap. Like I'm gonna nap, bro. So I'll talk to you like a few hours. Like it's just how it is, bro. It's how it be. I gotta get that nap in.
So you found all them basically just all through the internet.
Through the internet.
Met Black first.
Yeah, pretty much through Black. I found all of them, and then that it just kind of trickled down. Like I met like Bromane like through Black, and fucking everyone has like the same goddamn first name, which is funny as shit to me. I know,
right?
Like, I know 3 Chris's. I know like 4 fucking.
Yeah,
I know 2
funny.
Bobs now.
Right.
Bro, it's actually it's ridiculous, but it's like. I met all of them like at a good time, and like just kind of watched all of them grow, and just to see them do it like independently and like go about it the way they have, and just like the fact that they spread positivity. Like you could argue and say like, oh, like their music is violent, their music is this, music is that. It's like promoting this and that. It's like, is it though? Like, and it's like at the same time when you listen to a lot of shit, like there's dudes that'll spew out the most like hot fucking garbage, and they'll just say like whatever the fuck, and we'll just say it just to say it, and it's like they're not even on that shit. And it's like, we're not even talking, you don't even have to have street cred. It's like, fucking, like, enough with the street cred.
Yeah, that's just corny,
bullshit.
yeah.
It's corny as fuck. And there's a lot of dudes that be like, oh, I'm all about the streets. Whenever I talk about shit like that, like, I would talk about confidence of, like, I think I'm capable of this. But, like, am I really going to go out and fucking spin your block? No. I'm not going to go and spin your fucking block, bro. That's fucking stupid. I'm not going to tell people to, like, pursue violence. Like, and I will literally say, if you go into the lyrics, which I know are hard to understand, there's some songs, but like I'll say like I don't speak on violence, but like I might like I know every human's capable of doing it.
Yeah, it's just intrusive thoughts. Like
it's all intrusive thoughts that go into it.
You're allowed to like. It's better to put what you're feeling at that moment.
Exactly.
All wax.
Would you rather me put it into a song? Or go out and actually beat the fuck out of somebody, like, cause it's like, or just go out and get my ass kicked, because chances like I'm gonna blow away with the wind, bro. I'm skinny as shit, so I'm fucking like, so if I go out, chances are I'm gonna get my fucking ass beat, like but like it's what I've noticed a lot as well. Like I used to have a lot like anger management shit, like back in the day, and doing music like removed it practically, because I just, as soon as I'm like pissed off, I'm like, all right, let me just go yell into a mic real quick, like whatever. And even if I don't release it, just like release the song, I release that tension, and I'm like, okay, like that's good.
Yeah.
Like I'm good now, like fine. It's like I don't know, I'm like happier for it. And people do like to hear the more aggressive nature, and plus it's like, it's kind of like this confidence of where you're like, I feel like shit, but like I'm okay with me being this type of person. With me like I feel like shit, but I'm okay with like being anxious and being like a depressed. Like I'm anxious right now, but it's like that's like it's like
first ever
like,
on camera
like,
interview.
You'll probably see me probably see my hand shaking a little bit like during the interview, but it's like I'm anxious right now. That's perfectly fine. It's like I always want people to know it's like there's nothing wrong with being anxious, being depressed, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with taking medication for it. If you don't want to, don't take it.
I feel like it's how you handle it.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
You don't have to do anything. Like no one's gonna force you. Like, and I think it's like it's a personal choice. And it's that's that.
Means the camera's gonna stop in a minute.
Oh, that's that,
They're
bro.
The Canon effect, bro. They record for 30 minutes at a time.
Bro, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Give me 1 second. I'm literally gonna go press the record button and then come back and hit the timer.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Pause
it.
Bro, I hear that goddamn iPhone alarm and I fucking
it's
sleep
so
sometimes.
Fucking loud, bro.
Bro.
And it goes off. It's
like. It's the most annoying. I feel like alarms have to be annoying.
They have to, yeah.
Like they can't not be annoying. Imagine if your alarm was like soothing.
Bro, none of mine wake me up.
You wouldn't get up.
These fucking Android shits, like none of these shits wake me up, like at all. Like never in a million fucking years.
Like you would never get the fuck up.
Yeah, no.
But one thing I wanted to ask you, what is it like? What was it like growing up out here for you? Like I know. I didn't get to see much. You don't have to say your exact location.
Because it's dark.
But it's dark. I get to see much, but it seems very secluded out here, which I like to an extent. I feel like you appreciate seclusion more as you get older.
Oh, I love it. I loved it even as a kid. I mean, the only time I wanted to go to the city was when I was 18, and like I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm gonna be, because I want to be a filmmaker. I'm like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna film, I'm gonna do this and that, and blah blah. I'm gonna move to Brooklyn and whatever. And I didn't realize like how expensive that would be, number one, and how like irrational it was at the time as well. But I was like, I could live in the city, and my anxiety wasn't as bad when I was 18, but it was there, but it wasn't like how it is now. And I definitely like realized the just the importance of like family and everything, just like how lucky I am to have like a stable home where like I grew up. Like, I grew up maybe, like, 2 minutes from here. This used to be my grandma's house. My grandmother, who's right here. My grandma, she passed away when it was 2011. She passed away, and it was, like, she was basically a second mother to me. So I was here a lot. Like, I was here, like, all the time. And that's my dad's mom. It's, like, on the Scottish side. Shout out to the Scots, yo. Well, that's Miss Biv calling me right now. But I had, like, so much like growing up where like I had a good childhood, man. Like a lot of, there was times like where like like my parents would get into it like sometimes, and like you have like the typical, like no one has a perfect family, like at all. If someone tells you that, that's bullshit. I don't know who the fuck has
there's always family
there's
issues.
always family issues. But if I were to like sit here and be like, oh yeah, like I grew up like that, like my dad was terrible, whatever, like no, I had a little like falling out with my dad for like a second because I was flunking in school for one, and then like at the second time I was like, I know everything, I know this, I know that, and I think I reminded him of like himself, and he hated that shit, and that also like played like a part. But then like for a time it was like living like it was like two strangers in like in one house, like we didn't say hi to each other, nothing, and then we just like at one point we deadass just like talked it out and just literally cried, and that was it. And like from that point on it was like just built up this relationship that we have now, which is just like, that's my pop. It's like my pop's is always gonna be my pops. Like I'm always gonna look up to the dude. Like it's not like I've always like literally have always wanted to be like my dad. And my dad's like a fucking superhero to me. And then my mom, forget it. Like I'm so close to my mom. It's like I tell her everything, like every single thing. She knows, like she listens to my music all the time. Like literally knows like all the songs, everything.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I feel like a lot of people like who do get that support take it for granted.
Yeah, and I never did. I was always like, damn, my mom is so fucking lit. I always say that. Like my mom is the greatest person like you will ever fucking meet, and people will vouch on that. Like all my friends, like my one friend Badger, like will always say to people that she's literally like a living angel. It's insane. Yeah. And all the stuff that she's like done for like me and my sister, it's like it's wild. I had like a great relationship with my sister growing up. Hold on, let me answer this again.
It's all cool.
I have no shame, bro. Love your woman, bro. Treat your woman with respect, bro, because that girl holds me down, bro. Hey. Even if she did, it's like just respect. Like you got fucking too much misogyny running around nowadays.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That shit ridiculous.
Like I can't. Like I respect the whole poly thing, but I could never. Mm-hmm. I can't do it.
I'm not against. I would say this. I'm not against young men doing good for themselves, working out. Less of the jerking off if you want to, like no fab. Do whatever you gotta do. But it's like there's no need to fucking to go to like balls to the walls with it, with like fuck women, fuck this, fuck that. Cause I was like that at one point. I was misogynistic as fuck, and now it's like I'm like, all right, that's not. I'm like, that ain't the way. Like it's not the way. There's not like it's just not. But to each their own. But that ain't me. That's not me. And if you're a fan of mine and you're misogynistic, maybe rethink it. I don't know. Like, rethink it a bit. We could talk about it, like. But
how did growing up in a place like this is kind of rather secluded? How do you think that affected the sound of your music overall?
Depression. It was like it gave me a nice environment of like, okay, cause you can walk, like I can walk out and just be like in the fucking woods and just you're like secluded, and you can be with your thoughts, and you can meditate, and you can just like, even if you don't want to meditate necessarily, like you can just kind of let shit float. And I think that was like the best thing. And like also it's a small town, so everybody knows who you are, which could be good and bad. When it was bad when you were younger, like to a sense, because like you'd have like little mini beefs in high school, like, oh, you talking shit, whatever. And like I used to like I pressed like maybe like 2 people about like talking shit about me like one time, but I was like, at the end of the day I was like, it's whatever. It's like high school shit. Like after that, like everyone, like everybody, you got like a problem going on in life, like people, like I don't know, everyone like supports each other here. It's like it's a great community, honestly. Like it's really, it's wild. Like it's not like anything else. And people that like live around, like I have like a lot of family around here too, and I always thought my family were gonna be like very like about the music thing, and they're like, oh my god, like your music, whatever. My little cousins are like running around like bumping my fucking music out their whips and shit, and they're like,
that must be a good feeling.
Yeah, and I've known them since they were like since they were toddlers. They're like babies, and like now they're like grown in like college, which is weird to think about, but like now they're like in college, and like they're like, yo, your one song goes so hard, like we just blast it, like fucking blow the speakers out. I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, all right, man, like good going, like shit, like. But yeah, it definitely it was always nice because I had my grandma right here, so I was like 2 minutes away, and then we lived in a shithole. I'm not gonna lie, we lived in a bit of a shithole when we were growing up, but it was cozy though.
Yeah.
It was comfy. Like it wasn't like a shithole in the sense of where you just like felt like terrible. Like it was like I look back on it, I'm like, damn, like I love like the living room was so nice, like everything, like it just had like this nice like homey feeling, like everything, like, it was just all love in there and shit. And like my parents made sure we all had dinner together and everything. And if they did like have a fight or whatever, like they would kind of save it for like the end. You just kind of like hear it through the wall. You'd be like, all right, like they're like yelling at it. But my parents' marriage is such a fucking flex. It's insane. Like it's actually a whole ass flex. Like they've been together for I don't even know how long, and they'll like fight and go at it. My mom will fucking just like body my dad, be like in this calming voice, and just like rip him apart. And he always jokes about it. He's like, all I can say is just fucking. He's just screaming. Because my dad, when he yells, it's so goddamn scary. It's like scary as shit. And like me and him, like if we got like a screaming match one time. It was like I think it was like last March, I think. And it was like, that shit was surreal. Because I was like, I'd never yelled at my dad. And like having him, like he always yelled at me when I was like a kid. So I'm like, I never yelled back at my dad, and we just like got like in each other's face and shit. My mom was like in between us, and like at the end of it, we both sat there and like just like talked it out. And he was like, I was like, I never thought I'd be like yelling at you. He's like, yeah, you're pretty good at that. I was like, yeah. I was like, I do it for a living. We were like, yeah, you know, like we do it for a living. I was like, you know, it's like fucking. It was like one of those things that like needed to happen too, and it's like you hate for some to like. You don't want to do that. Like I don't want to argue with my parents and shit like that. But like that was needed, and it's like, as weird as it sounds, it's like I feel like my dad had like this newfound respect for like all right, like good shit. Because it's like my dad comes from like a family where it's like you know you got fucking no crying, no nothing.
Yeah,
whatever.
nah.
But, like,
trust me, I know all about that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's wild when like when he thinks like, oh, like there's no way, whatever. I'm like in his face, like right in his face and shit. And I was terrified. I'm like, this motherfucker could throw me into this wall and kill me. I'm like, there's no like he punches me once, I'm dead. I'm like, there's no way that he would like. But it's wild though to have the upbringing that I had, and then like that the weirdest thing is like. That's why, like, I always say to people, like, you could have a good upbringing and still be, like, in a mental weird, like, in just a weird mental state. Cause,
you
like,
can be in any life situation.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's so strange, man. I that's why I feel for people that really don't have, like, a good family dynamic, something like that.
Yeah.
That's got to be so fucking
Makes
difficult.
so much harder to deal with.
So much difficult. Because, like, my parents are like, all right, we'll get you a doctor to do this, whatever. And they got me, like, on the right track. And they're always supportive. Like, if I text my mom, like, late at night, just being like, "Oh, I'm home," my dad will be like, "Oh."
R.I.P. the live.
Yeah, R.I.P. the live. My dad will be like, is that like? Well, I'm like checking up, like, so he'll be like kind of nervous about it. Like they'll always be nervous, and like obviously like when your parents hear about you like being like suicidal, they'll never forget about that. Like my mom will always tell me like she'll never forget like the first time I told her that, like, oh, like I like attempted to kill myself, like whatever, and she was like, okay. And like there was many nights where we just like kind of sat up. I would have like my mom, she would have to come down like almost every night, so I'd be having like a panic attack like every night, and being like suicidal. I'd just be sitting there, I wouldn't even know what the fuck to say to my mom. I'd be like, I don't even know what to say right now, and she would just sit there and just like hold my hand, and like it's for a parent that has to be terrifying. So like no matter how good I get, she'll always be like whatever. So when she was the first person I called after I first like performed. Because, I mean, we're talking, I couldn't even go into a Walmart. I couldn't even leave this house without freaking the fuck, without having, like, a full panic attack. And then I go from that, like, 3 years later, I'm on a stage in front of, like, hundreds of people. And I call my mom, and she was like, oh, my God. Like, just, like, freaking out. And my dad was like, you fucking did it, man. Whatever. Like, before I left, my dad was like, he's like, you're a fucking rock star, man. He's like, just go do it, do your thing, whatever. My dad had no worries. Like, he was just like, you're going to be fine. Like, I was like, that gave me, like, so much confidence. I was like, thanks, Dad. I was like, thanks, Dad. Shit, like, what the fuck? So, like, and I've spoken to my dad only like maybe 3 or 4 times in my music, just because I don't like to really I don't like to like villainize my dad at all, but like I will speak on like, because like alcoholism like runs like in my family a lot. My dad isn't too bad with it like as like before him, but it's like something that is definitely a serious thing where it's like I worry about him like with his health, because he doesn't get aggressive, like he doesn't get like that. He used to get like he would get like pissy, but he wouldn't get like aggressive when he was drunk and shit. But I worry about like his health a lot, because I want my dad, I want him to be here around. If I have kids, I want them to have like their grandfather and everything. It's like, so I do worry about his health with that. And like my mom is a big, like my sister, they all worry about that shit. My sister she can fucking outdrink anybody. Like, I don't know if it's the Scottish genes. I don't know what the fuck it is, bro. She can just outdrink everybody.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
There's some people just like that, bro.
It's
I'm
so
such
insane.
a pussy when it comes to alcohol,
I
man.
can't. I don't drink. I can't. I do not like it. Plus, I have emetophobia, which is like a severe fear of puking. So, like, no alcohol at all.
Gotcha.
Which is also, that's a big thing about it. I'm like, if I ever get like a good enough voice, I'm speaking on emetophobia, because a lot of people have that shit and are so afraid to talk about it, because you're like you're afraid of that, like what the fuck, like you just feel like.
What's that fear like though? Is there like, do you like, I don't know, get lightheaded or whatever, and then you start to think about, oh shit, I'm gonna like.
It's a loss of control. It's so much deeper than like just the fear of puking. It's a loss of actually being in control of your body, where you're like, okay, because you have no control over that. Your body's going to make you do it regardless of whether you like it or not. So you kind of like. It branches out into like OCD. It branches out into fucking panic disorder, like agoraphobia. You don't want to go anywhere because you're like, what if I go here, and like all these what ifs go through your head of like all these scenarios, these worst case scenarios of like, what if I go here and this happens or whatever, can't escape here. You go into a fucking restaurant, you're looking at every single exit, everywhere you go, you're like, okay. And if you feel anything, like any sort of anxiety, whatever, because anxiety, one of the main like things is nausea, and I can always tell the difference between like nausea from anxiety or being like, if I get hungry, I get nauseous. Like if I get like really hungry, I'm like, damn, I gotta eat, bro. I'm fucking nauseous. And my Italian grandmother, she'll be like, oh, I gotta eat. I'm gonna throw. She's like, I'm gonna throw day. She's like, I gotta eat something. I gotta like because bro, they eat like all the time. Like my grandpa got out of surgery.
Oh, that's
my
culture, man.
Yeah, he got out of surgery. I forget what surgery it was he got out of, and they're like, no one ever eats anything, and they're like, do you want anything to eat, whatever? And he's like, I'll take that ham sandwich if you got whatever. And they're like, yeah, okay. And they bring like a ham sandwich. Like, and man just scarfs the whole fucking thing down. And they're like, oh, you need anything, like any towels? He's like, I'll take another ham sandwich if you got it, whatever. I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, no one is. They were like, I've never seen anybody do this. Like, I've never seen anyone do that. So it's like, yeah, the fear, it's anyone that has it can easily relate, but anyone that doesn't, it is hard to understand. I remember I told Bad Lad about it, and this motherfucker researched it, which like brought like a damn near tear to my eye, because I was just like, yeah, this is what I have. He's like, yeah, I looked this up and like researched. He's like, that fucking sucks. He's like, that really sucks. But I was like, yeah, it's not fun. I was like, but I've learned to like deal with it, and it's been there since I was like in 3rd grade. Really, it's like been there for like a while, and it just like deeply roots itself. It gathers a blueprint. You just kind of have to like learn to like deal with it and kind of let go, and it's like. It's definitely difficult, like more difficult at times, and you have to just recognize like, all right, this is anxiety doing this, and I'll survive, like I'll be all right. It's not the end of the world, because people be like, when I'm panicking, they'll be like, you're not gonna die. I'm like, I kind of want to right now. I'm like, I don't like. It's not about me. I'm not afraid of dying right now. Like I kind of want to die, bro. Like it's not that. Like trust me. Like it's all good. Like
so it kind of ties into like panic attacks and stuff too.
It's
like anxiety.
Panic attacks, everything, all of it. So it's like a emetophobia. It played into the fucking show and shit. Like before I get on stage, I'm like, what if I get up there and fucking this stuff? Like I can't even say it without knocking on motherfucking wood. Like you have to do shit. Like I was doing rituals and everything. Like you know that movie How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah.
That was a comfort movie for me.
Really?
For a long time. I played that shit on my monitor for 3 years straight as an OCD thing. So I was like, if I turn this off, something bad's going to happen. Or if I do this in a weird way, something terrible is going to happen.
That's crazy.
There was so many different rituals, and I had to work my way slowly out of that. And I used, like, different, like, what the fuck? It was cognitive behavioral therapy. So I was like, all right, I have to actually, like, get my shit, like, slowly work my way out of it. So, like, what makes me uncomfortable, do little bits of it. So I would, like, go out, like, a lot of my friends, one of my friends, Badger, like, forced me out. We're like, all right, we're going out this, like, taking you out. We're going, like, we're not staying in your house. We're going out in public. And I'd be sitting there, you can only, like, get a fucking coffee. And I'm like, I'm sitting there like freaking out on the fucking bed. But I'm like, all right, let me figure out like what do I feel? What's the sensations and why am I feeling it? And then from doing that, it's like it just got easier and easier and easier. It's like repetitions. It fucking sucks and it's hard, but it's not impossible. Like if I could do it, anybody can do it. So I'm like, and you think it's impossible because it feels fucking impossible. Like Kamar would be on the phone with me while I'm driving around because he knew I'd be uncomfortable. He'd be on the phone like, you're doing good, man, doing whatever. And it's like, it's just crazy to think about that. And like
he kind of deals with the same stuff though.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Like we spoke a little bit on mental health in our interview, which is gonna be back up, by the way, for anybody who's looking for it.
Look forward to the blur.
Look forward to his blurred face.
He's such a handsome motherfucker too, man. He's so
right.
Handsome, but I get. He
doesn't want to show that face.
I get why he doesn't want to, but he is one handsome motherfucker. I know a lot of handsome motherfuckers in this industry, just like fucking hot ass motherfuckers.
He can relate. How did you end up meeting bro anyway?
I met him through. Do you know Deadman, the producer?
Nah.
That's another Chris.
Chris is everywhere.
Sorry, Chris. I know. I don't know if he's even going like that. That I put his name on there. But I need to hit him up because he's a good fucking dude, man. He's and a great producer. And I met him and like Killybola, all of them. But I met Deadman first. Then I met Killybola, and then I met Cam. And me and Cam sat in fucking a Call of Duty lobby just talking for like 4 hours. Like running around, like in the lobby where they had it was like Call of Duty World War II or some shit. And they had like a fucking lobby you could just run around with your character. And we were just running around, like going prone, like just whatever. While we were talking, like we were just like, it was so fucking funny. But like that was it. And we just talked whatever. And we even like, it was me, Kamar, Killybola, and Deadman like, had a falling out because I pushed a lot of people away, and like in a very toxic way, and we had like a falling out for a second. People like, you guys beefing, you guys whatever. I'm like, not really. I'm like, we're not really beefing. Like they were pissed for all like good reasons, and this is why I love them so much because they were like after a while like the love never like left, and Cam never spoke an ill word about me. Throughout the entire time, never said a bad thing. He
seems like the type of person that you'd have to do a lot for him to. Speak
he would never.
You know what I mean?
I've never heard him speak shit on anybody. He doesn't talk.
Bro's shit. Just so. I remember because he knows I love Zelda. Massive Zelda fan. He had the Zelda knife, and
he has every fucking thing. He has like the original Guitar Hero. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck
massive
did you get
Yu-Gi-Oh card
collection. He's like, I found it at a fucking garage sale. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? But like,
Bro's like a dildo on his fan.
He's fucking hilarious, bro. He is so fucking funny, and like everyone, like him, like Black, fucking. It's so weird calling him Black, but it's like him, Black, like but it's just everyone that I've met they've all had an inspiration on my work and like everything, and whether I've had a falling out with them, like anyone, like I have love for like everybody. There's really no one that I hate in the industry, because it's just like there's no point in that, and it's like we're all in the same boat doing the same thing, like helping the same people. Really, all of us have like a lot of the same fan bases. So to me, it's like, well, like I'm not gonna have like beef with you. It's like fuck it. Like if I can work with you, I'll work with you. If you like someone, if they don't like me, I'll respect that. Like I'll keep my distance and everything. Which I think there are a few artists that might not like me, and that's okay. Like that's fine. But it's all love, like from this end. And I think we're all busy, so it's like you can't really keep up. Like it's you can't really have like friendships like that. So
how did the collab tape with Kamara come up?
That was a long time coming, and then we also wanted to be like, for everyone was like, you guys beef and whatever. Like, nah, here it is. Like, and he wanted to produce something where he was like, he wanted to full, because he's an amazing producer. So he's like, I want to be able to produce something, and I want to put you on it for like vocals, everything. We did the one song, which one was it? Fuck, I think it was the last song on it, and that was like the beginning. He's like, we could do like a whole album. He was like, whatever. And we started doing stuff. I'm like, we'll do like an EP. And then it just came up. He would send these beats, and he was getting samples from like old style video games, like shit that you would never even hear of at all, and was just sending me like, he wanted to do like a drill atmospheric type thing. He's like, we got to do this, bro. Like, we have to. Like, it's been so long. We have to do like a collab project. And that was like the first one. I'm sure like down the road we'll do something where we're both vocalizing and everything. And
he on that one. He had
Set Collect. We performed that in Brooklyn. That shit was so fucking hard. Like that was lit. And it was like that came about where we just wanted to experiment with it, and I was experimenting a little bit with like just a drill sound and everything, and which I definitely could never like master like an actual drill sound. I think people are a bit like tired of drill at this point in a way also, but
I think like drill is kind of just moving into energy now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like people are so much as I run up and you know, people are so fucking sick of it.
Yeah, it's like all right, you
have
hear
the people rapping about that shit aren't even really on that shit.
Yeah,
which is okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay.
But a lot of the times they'll be like, I'm on. Like, it's okay.
They'll act like they're on it.
Yeah, where it's like, all right, bro, like, I don't need it. Like, because they'll be like, let's get, like, how many fucking videos you seen where fuckers got, like, they got, like, 3 foreign cars, like 15, like, half-naked girls that just chill. Like, it's like, you've seen one, you've seen it all. It's like, damn, bro, like, there's no uniqueness to
life looking like a cliche rap video.
It's like, you just, like, you gotta evolve. You have to, you know, that's a big thing. And, like, Bad Lad, which I can't speak on a lot, but all the shit he's working on right now is like the best shit I've ever heard.
You can even that's good. That's good to hear.
It's the best shit I've ever heard.
But you can see in the music that he has out too. It's been like that, like from Project Jinkarichi, however the fuck you pronounce it.
I don't even.
I'm sorry if I butchered that, bro.
I don't even know. I ain't even gonna try and butcher it, bro.
To like the newer shit he did, like where you guys did Tablecloth, and he did the singles run that he did with Darky.
Yeah,
like. He's at like the quality is upped in his music and so substantially from the first project.
Bro, it's so much more like cinematic the way he's doing it, and he really wants to like bring across like a message, and he's evolving as an artist, which I always knew he would do because he's
rare, man.
I forget how fucking young he is. I forget how young
he's like 22.
Yeah, I'm like Jesus Christ, bro. I'm like the fucking potential between him. Black. I always bring up Black, but I'm like, it's literally like every time I think of the artist with the most potential, it's always gonna be Black.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. Like that's immediately I'm like Black. Like I just go right to him, like bing, like because I just know he has so much in him, and it's just like that motherfucker is ridiculous.
Hey, and he's got a hell of a manager too.
Yup.
I think people in the actual industry sleep on Jay is what like he can do as a manager. He's working overtime.
He's a menace. That boy
working OT out here.
I'm older than him. I forget how fucking old he is. I'm like a year or two older than Jay. But like you would think he's fucking like 40 the way he be working. He like just fucking goes about his shit. You're like, all right, but he'll always like he makes time for he fucking runs a bunch of like other artists, and then also will make time for me just because it's like, you know, there's love there. So he's like, yeah, like if you need this, that, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like 100%. Like he's just a good fucking dude. Yeah. He's fucking hilarious. Him and fucking Black like the same goddamn person.
We're coming up on the last few minutes, so I had one question I did want to get out the way. What was your first time recording like, and what initially got you into music? Like, what was the moment that was like, you know what, I kind of want to try making music?
I was 19, and I was like, I told my friends it was a joke that I was doing it. And my one friend that I met, his name's Tyler, but he went by Griswold. And he rapped, and he was so fucking good. Probably still is fucking amazing at rap. And like had all these inspirations to like MF Doom and like fucking, I mean like so many inspirations. Like people I can't even name off because I don't even know the fucking artists. Like he knows his shit. And he would be like, yeah, like we met in we worked in seafood together. And he's like, yo, like, come back to my house, bro, and we'll like, you know, just whatever, like just chill. And we were chilling. He's like, you want to like fuck around, like make a song, whatever. I was like, okay. And I just started like singing. And he's like, shit, like whatever. And I started like rapping. And he was like, it was trash. Like I was like terrible at it. But he was like, he could like see something. And he was like, yeah, let's try this or try that. And the first time I ever recorded was at his house, I'm pretty sure. Like I recorded like an actual thing, and the fucking song was called like Lobster or something. No, you'll never find it, so don't try and fucking look for it. It's fucking terrible. And I remember he just like told me he was telling like all this shit about like just his own experience with it and just like how he goes about it. And like I was dealing with heartbreak at the time, so I was like, I needed to like, that's where I felt like I need to like prove myself of like, I want to do this. And I always knew I would regret music. Like, I would regret not doing music if I didn't try it. Like now I have no regrets. Like I could stop music right now and be like, I'm good. Like that was like I did everything that I wanted to do. Yeah. I performed. I've put out like albums where people can't even fucking keep up because it's like so many albums like and I could easily just be like, all right, good. and now I've done an interview. So like that, like boom, check the
Checking boxes.
Check the boxes off, like check it off. But it's like that's pretty much where it got me into it. Was like he was a big inspiration to me, and he's still like, I still have so much love for that motherfucker. Like shout out Griswold, that motherfucker made me. That motherfucker he made BIV. He gave me my fucking name.
That's crazy. How'd that happen? We got like 1 minute left, but real quick, how'd that?
That was, we were gonna be Roy G BIV. He was gonna be Roy G and me BIV.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, I just kind of want to do like solo. And he's like, that's good, but keep the name BIV because you look like BIV. Like it just fits. And I'm like, all right. And I just kept it. That was it. History made, bro.
Well, dude, I'm glad we could talk and shit. Sorry I'm pulling up so late and pushing that bag.
No,
you
good,
to finish
man.
this van.
You good. You had to pull into my fucking driveway. You pulling into Narnia, bro.
Right? I thought I was backing into another goddamn country out here.
The woods, bro. Like, where you bringing me? Bear about to pop out.
Right? About to get mauled by a fucking grizzly bear out here. Fucking polar bear with the weather lately. Holy shit.
I swear to God, bro. You're actually more common to get like mauled by a fucking like stray cat. Fuck than anything else, bro.
I'm gonna get fucking cat scratch.
Yeah, you get a couple of cat scratches or coyotes or something, but they'll run away if you fucking yell or something. But that got like the air horns and be blowing because they keep us up sometimes.